Talking Heads got to the heart of the topic in 1985 when they composed the lyrics to the song Road to Nowhere. 27 years later, transportation was selected to be the high school debate topic. For the past 5 months, we have been arguing back and forth about the merits of high-speed rail or national infrastructure bank without a fundamental understanding of what the journey of those voices of stasis entail. It seems as if Westwood, Greenhill, and even our good friends at Kincaid have missed the boat concerning the topic. Roads, bridges, highways, etc. are not the beginning nor the end of transportation because everything in the world abides by temporal relations. Nothing is ever truly static. That's Camp 09. We live in a world of temporal relations. Our lives are embedded in a process of changes. Every moment is suffused with uncertainty. Impossible to predict. Our being is in this world is not fixed or imminent. What we require is insight that places or processes they do not possess a single identity. We accepted our disengagement with place, our ability to change position. When Byrne penned the lyrics for A Road to Nowhere, he exposed us to a strange journey with an unusual reality. By taking away the necessity of arriving at any particular place, he challenges our perception of place. Byrne suggests travels are no longer directed towards a fixed point of arrival, but the complete absence of one. We find ourselves moving towards nowhere. This road to nowhere suggests places can no longer be understood as something that exists as a permanent entity. The journey Byrne invites us on is a place associated with transit airports, highways. Byrne's description reveals a place as a transitory state, existence liberated from particular form. The individual is subject to reorientation. Everything is determined by accident. Being entangled with space involves immersed in the process of becoming itineraries of this journey. Nowhere is consistently changing. Individuals invent new possibilities of organizing space, shortcuts, diversions, or improvised itineraries. They privilege, transform, or abandon spatial elements. The individual is located in a non-place. Actions evolve. Space is neither stationary nor static, but a social construct suffused with action via individuals and their power relations. Space is defined through activity. Join us on a journey into nowhere to be exact. Our affirmation has no beginning nor an end. It is simply the process of becoming one with space's existence rather than attempting to control and master it. And our presentation is one that allows for existence of heterotopic relationships promising the existence of different. That's Camp 09. Byrne's description reveals place as a state, liberated from location. Foucault establishes the concept of heterotopia. These places are contested and countersites. They exist outside of places. They are different from all to make a difference in the social fabric. Heterotopia must possess a focus on the application of force, nowhere to be found, but in the location of the heterotopia itself. Non-places organize themselves heterogeneously. These places can neither be tied to physically placed nor ascribed. Space is socially produced, no specific form. Each field corresponds to a potentially open space. This opposition represents apodictic counterforce, overstepping boundaries. This point of transit creates a difference that leaves a connection between entities and enables transformation to occur. This makes an intermediary space located within the difference. Imprisoning the immanence of space into an overarching concept allows the creation of a repressive system of power and an equally oppressive form of knowledge production. The role of your ballot is to affirm the best method of producing knowledge. That's Lefebvre 91. No limits have been set on space. It may connote coherence, consistency, and the relations to the whole. Knowledge is the space in which the subject may take a position and speak of the objects with which he deals with his discourse. This connection is never conceptualized. Discourse sets opposition between the status of space, epistemological thought, eliminated the creator of sequence. Meaning presents itself as the authority to interchange elements along a single chain. Mental space becomes the locus of a theoretical practice. And the eradication of difference is inevitable. Absent a reconceptualization of spatial dimensions, the recognition of space as a medium that can ultimately be controlled provides justification, homogenization of life on a planetary scale. As Brenner and Eldon 09. Lefebvre's account of space aspires to decipher conflicts associated with states, spatial elements, spatial dimensions systematically show states transform the state of dangerous social relations in space. It produces its own space. This regulates worldwide space. Absolute spaces are organized. Abstract space appears to be homogeneous and thus devoid of differences. This homogeneity is instrumental for the state. It serves forces which make whatever stands in their way differences. Abstract space destroys differences to impose homogeneity. Abstract space is the product of state, spatial strategies, and centralized power. Abstract space is violent. It provides a framework of military intervention at the scale of every state worldwide, the scale of the planetary state system. SMB mobilizes capacities to shape homogenization. The state is conceived by abstraction, without spatial body. This requires a spatialization of political theory, which takes into account localities in the functioning of space. The task is to elaborate a spatialization of political theory itself. This procedure would problematize the orientation of political studies towards abstractions, its deterritorialized assumptions, and failure to explicit spatial conditions of possibility. Join Andrew and I on a journey upon a road to nowhere. Our affirmation is one of continuity. There is no such thing as a mutual exclusivity where we are going, only an embracement of the allegorical contention of a road to nowhere. When intellectuals have a destination and a static conception of space, all impacts become inevitable. Our performance is one of uniquely representational thought that allows for an embracement of life, because sometimes in order to live in the light, you need to learn how to dance in the dark. That's Hebridge 12. Talking Heads problematized the vision's themes reiterated, including projected imagery. Burns' work involves meditation on the blurring level of categories, identities which characterize discourse. Burn inhabits space and offers the audience ways into space which are viable and pleasurable. The most direct route into space is by the road to nowhere. The road to nowhere could be used to exemplify diffusion of modernist codes. The metaphor of the open road figures as an image. There is a flat expressionist mode of delivery. We encounter the pop version of the sublime in an attempt to present the unpresentable. We realize ourselves in the destinations the Talking Heads takes us to, the space of the sublime, the space of psychosis. The Talking Heads tells us it's right. The moment when we stop to, we get bound into signifiers. Everything turns within the circle. The circle is a metaphor. It can signify a black hole in the whole world. It can be the very cell of life. Everything turns within. Joy, terror, tears of laughter, tears of pain. But it's all right. We're on the road to nowhere. You can dance to it, enjoy the rhythm, think its messages, read it allegorically, use it as you like. You can watch it, forget it, steal it, and play it back. Road to Nowhere is not incompatible with the endeavor because its tone cannot be conveyed. Apart from the affirmation of running on the spot over fatal drift, the Road to Nowhere presents itself as an affirmative allegory of the loss of mastery. It implies that dethronement is not to be resisted or resented, but accepted and welcomed. We are offered something more livable, a world in which humans can begin to take responsibility. We must learn to live without the guarantee which underwrite the human project. The consciousness of limitation prescribes space. Finally, there is the deepest line, one traced out by the Holocaust, the death camps, and the prospect of nuclear catastrophe. In a world where global self-destruction is possible, we have to think again and learn to think again. We are all out on the road to nowhere. Let's hope we can go on running on the spot forever. We must learn to lighten up. We must learn how to dance in the dark. We can move along together, not necessarily in time to the drum of history, perhaps having fun, getting joy and pleasure, moving to different rhythms. A dance along the road to nowhere requires loosening of the rigid postures. For language, we shall have to learn to start again, not everywhere at once, but here and now, and learning how to question and not only the structure of domination out there, but forms of domination which are inscribed in our own lives. We have to learn strategies for life, learning how to question to produce a space around ourselves in which we can live and learn to find the voice.
Who is Andrew and I? Why? Why are they important?
Because we're in the place.
So why do you get to determine who affirms the road to nowhere?
Because we read what we see.
Yeah.
But why do you get to do it?
Because we present a policy, or we present
you're a policy.
We present a form of knowledge production that we say is a good
Alright,
idea.
what is knowledge?
Well, our Lefebvre defines knowledge as something that can be produced by the subject in order to either control space or to allow for space.
Right,
to
and
exist
your role the ballot is that,
relationships.
hang on, your role the ballot is that you vote for whoever produces the best knowledge.
Right.
Your road is to nowhere. How do we know it's the best?
We know that our form of knowledge is not necessarily the best form of knowledge that represented with other ideas, but as of the one we believe that our form of knowledge can exist as a better option as opposed to a
The first tag of your card is, it seems as if Westwood, hang on, Andrew, that's fine. As if Westwood, Green, and all their good friends at Kincaid, why are those people important?
There are examples of schools that define
And you don't like them?
infrastructure. No, we love you.
You seem to oppress us as of this speech?
No, not at all. Those are some examples of schools that think of the topic of something as a beginning and an end. Our affirmative does not seek to reconcile the fact
Right,
that
and you
transportation is
dislike
beginning
that
or
form
end.
of thought, correct?
We believe that form of presenting transportation
Right.
infrastructure is a bad
What
form of
infrastructure do you build?
We don't build infrastructure.
Are you
exactly.
topical? No?
We would say that we approach resolution in a topical manner.
What's the manner of topicality you enact?
We say that we would mentally analyze the resolution and believe that our form of knowledge production is uniquely good.
Okay, what is meaning?
Meaning is something generated by individuals that is important to them.
How do we
It's
determine what
subjective.
is meaning?
There is no such thing as a static meaning. That's kind of the point of our affirmative. There is no way for you to create a static truth.
Then how do you know
Not only
that there is
erase
a
binaries,
problem
but
in the
also-
status quo if you can't conceptualize static truth?
We believe that the way in which truth is contrived is a bad way of approaching truth. There's no such thing as something that is true.
But you represent that to be truth, right? That
No,
truth
no,
is
no,
not
no,
objective?
no, not at all. We say that the way in which individuals approach space is something in a violent manner is a bad way of approaching space, and we say that the only way to rupture that form of control
You make
and
I guess you
is
use
by
the
making
phrase a lot that we have to be able to dance. What about people who can't dance?
No, this is not an argument about why we should physically dance. It is a metaphor. The point of the 1AC is a metaphor or an allegory to the way in which we can approach forms.
But I mean, you say that because you
salvation.
can dance. What about people who don't have legs? How do they imagine
no,
that?
there are some forms. We believe that everybody has some form of dancing, regardless of whether or not they have a physical disability.
Okay. A lot of your evidence then talks about how we have to be able to affirm the road to nowhere. Does that incorporate walking on the road?
No, this would involve not necessarily walking or.
What do you do?
We believe that the road is an allegory of a journey to a mental point of stasis.
Yeah. How do you journey there if you can't move?
We don't actually pack up our bags and go somewhere.
Don't have to, but how can you imagine something if you are unable to?
We imagine a way in which we change how we approach space.
What about people who can't imagine things?
Well, we would say that
You're ableist?
No. No, we would say that everybody has the unique opportunity to change the way in which they approach space in life.